Terry Woods here. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm good.
I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
And this is going to be spectacular. She has the book Dutch. She has Dutch 1 and 2.
Dutch 1, 2, and 3. Yes.
True to the Game 1, 2, and 3.
Yes.
She has the movie True to the Game.
Deadly Rains.
Daily
1, 2, and 3.
Daily
Don't
Rains.
forget
One,
Deadly Rains.
We're going to get into everything. So
they're all on that front cover right there. For a lot of them
is
right
here.
there.
So we're going to get right into it. First, let me start off by asking you, where are you from and how was your childhood coming up?
I'm from Philadelphia, and I had a really amazing childhood. I have no complaints of my childhood at all. Yeah. My mom and my dad actually met at the Uptown Theater in Philadelphia. And if people don't know, my uncle is Georgie Woods. So there in the 60s, for people who aren't familiar with my family, my Uncle George started on radio, I believe in the 50s actually, but he started playing black music, and he also had a theater called the Uptown Theater. He also had a television show and a radio show. And so he said that, they were, the money at the door wasn't right.
Okay.
So he called my father, who everybody referred to as brother, who was in New York. The whole family was from Georgia, migrated to New York. My grandmother, she actually died on Roosevelt Island from tuberculosis. Back then they quarantined everybody to Roosevelt Island. Okay. My grandmother died on Roosevelt Island, but he called up to New York, and he had my father come down to Philly, who was his oldest brother, and my father took over the door at the Uptown. So that he could catch the money. Basically. He had to catch the money. Okay, yeah. He was taking the money.
So he needed to get all the money so nobody would steal from him.
So he called his brother.
That's right.
And so Daddy took the door, and according to the story, my mom was coming to see Sam Cooke.
Okay.
And he let her in for free. And 8 years later, I came along.
Wow, and there you are.
Yeah, so my daddy and his brother George had the Uptown, and my dad had the Speakeasy on the 2200 block of Bouvier Street behind the Uptown.
Okay.
And that's where everybody really would be with my father, but they don't know that. But
so
they would just perform for George, but they hung out with my dad.
Now, are we talking about Georgie Woods with potato chips?
We're talking about Georgie Woods, the man with the goods, with not only just potato chips, but who took care of the city.
Yeah, he took care of the city.
He took care of the city.
Very important man.
Took care of the black community.
And what led up to True to the Game? What inspired you to write that book?
Well, I got caught up in the 80s like a lot of my friends and peers did, which was that crack era and that drug era. So by the time I was graduating from high school, everybody that I knew, was playing some type of part or had some type of activity going on. And by 1991, you figure I graduated in 86. So by 1991, everybody that I knew was pretty much either dead or in jail. Yeah. And I had to go to work. And I started working as a legal secretary. I went to paralegal school, and I worked for various law firms in Philadelphia. But it was my experience in the law firm and coming out of West Philly and being a young black woman, lucky to get a job. In 1991, I remember that there were no black people on the train in the morning.
In 91?
No, they wasn't on the train. They didn't have jobs in Center City.
Yeah, because it was hard for us. They wasn't giving us no jobs.
No, they was not. No, I don't care what nobody's saying. They was not on the train like that. And we weren't in corporate America. We weren't in there like that at all. Very few. It's like little sprinkles. Yeah. And I just I remembered that I would go into work and pretend from 9 to 5. I would just pretend.
Pretend that you were working, or pretend
I was white.
Wow.
To fit in and keep my job.
How did you feel? How did that make you feel?
It made me feel great that I had a job.
Wow.
And it made me be a better person as far as knowing that I had an opportunity to take care of myself. Whereas all of my friends were gone, and people that I had in my life that I had depended on were gone outside of my parents for support. And it felt good to be able to have a job and support myself. I had a very good life as a legal secretary. So I worked my way up from 45th and Sansom. My mom helped me buy a house. My last house in Philly was 7411 Ruskin Road.
Okay.
And I left in 2000. And I think anybody who is familiar with the city, that's not a bad scenario for a young black woman, 30 years old, to own a home in Overbrook Park at 7411 Ruskin Road. I had a beautiful house. I had a little Mazda 626.
I remember that, yeah.
My little white Mazda. And I would drive to the train, and I would park my car and catch my train and go to work every day. And I was very happy. And after seeing the things that I saw and losing so many people around me, at the same time I was happy to be working, I also knew that I was working really hard. It was hard. And friends that I had around me had way more and they weren't working. And so that was hard.
Wow.
You know, my girlfriend...
More of dealing with
they had
this
everything.
person,
Yeah, they was balling. She was stealing diamonds. She was going all around. She had everything.
See, she beat me,
you know, so people around me, that's the hard part, because you sort of might feel like a loser or a sucker, or I don't have this, I don't have all these materials, I don't have what other people had. But looking back, I'm just glad that I stayed focused and I didn't get caught up so much in the materials, because my friends were really over the top.
Now, I want to get into that. You talk about the diamond, the highest. I'm gonna get into it. Going back to TERI'S game.
We were something, boys.
This here, listen. Going back to TERI'S game, True to the Game. That led you to write the story. Right?
Well, True to the Game is a story.
It led you from everything you experienced from then.
Right.
Now,
to be able to write that book or pen that book.
Was there anyone in that book that you were talking about? Do you know anyone that lived that life, like specific? Like, do you know an actual person?
I mean, I pretty much knew everybody in Philadelphia. You know, I was from West Philly, so I hung out with Bucky. I know Storm. They know me. I'm not going to sit up here and act like I don't know them or I don't know anybody or, I knew everybody. And like I said, it was the 80s. It was time I think we all got caught up, no matter how good we were raised. Looking back, I do feel like we probably set a pace. And also looking back, I know that pace has devastated black communities from that time period, that era. And I feel like we are dealing with remnants of it now.
That's right.
That little baby that just got killed in D.C. is a remnant of behavior from, as far as I'm concerned, from even back then in the 80s and the 90s. It's just escalated and it's not been dealt with, and it's just been swept under the rug. That's why True to the Game was such a problem. Boycotting it and trying to shut the movement of me being able to do business with the book, and silencing, and nobody ever really said, this is what you've come up with living in your inner city community. And instead of maybe using it as a tool to fix the ills in our society or in our community or in our culture, they used it as a tool to go against me in a way.
Yeah.
Trying to boycott me, trying to shut me down, every step along the way.
There was several people who helped you with True to the Game.
In the beginning, very much so, yeah.
One person stuck out to me.
That white lady?
Her name was Maureen.
Yeah.
Maureen, she had cancer.
Mm-hmm.
I
didn't know she had cancer.
You didn't know it. You were trying to get in contact with her, so you called her home, and I think her daughter. I
reached back later in my success.
Yeah, And how did you feel about finding out that she passed away when the daughters told you that? Because you couldn't tell her that you were, up now.
I didn't know if she knew that I was successful. I didn't know what she knew because I knew that True to the Game was very cult-like within our culture. I didn't feel like True to the Game was a mainstream book, or that, like white people were reading me or knew my name at that time. And so for me to be able to reach back out to Maureen, and I wanted her to know that, I wanted her to look at and know what I had done, right. Because she had been so influential and she believed in me. Probably having that white woman believe in me is probably
that was amazing.
For her to it's like she it was not that it solidified me anymore, but it was the fact that she was so different, and she was the last person on earth that you would look at that would think that she would get it. But not only did she get it, she embraced it, she loved it, and she totally supported it, and rewrote the whole book, showed me how to write. Because I was, I did West Philly, so I had dropped out. I didn't do well in 10th grade. I just showed back up because I said, I'm graduating. Y'all not going, I'm getting my high school diploma. Yeah. And so by the time I showed up, they were like, look, we leave no one behind. Just give her a roster.
It's good. Let it go.
Yeah, let it go. And so, even to this day, I'm like, does that comma go there? Or,
you
just gotta figure out where those quotation marks go again. I forget. And, and so just like cliffhangers, lining things up, making it so that you can't put the book down, or helping develop my style. And she, like I said, she really believed in me. So for her to mentor me in that regard, she just believed in me. So I believed in myself. I was like, oh, okay, let me try. But then I got rejected and nobody would publish me. And the book ended up in the closet anyway for years.
But it's a hit. And also, Maureen, the exchange were, if you bring me back to my people so we can play cards and drink. I mean, you couldn't believe. I couldn't believe it by reading that in the story. So she actually said that to you?
That's absolutely 100% the truth, and she believed that she was reincarnated.
She was Irish, right?
She was Irish, but she believed that she had been reincarnated and she was once black.
Wow.
And she very much wanted to go with me to West Philly and play cards outside.
And she had a great time?
The best time of her life.
Wow.
She wrote that book.
Ladies and gentlemen, everything that we're talking about now is in Terry's Game. This book right here is powerful. You need to pick this up. Where can they get this book from?
www.terry'sgame.com, and they can also order it on Amazon. It's also going to be available at barnesandnobles.com as well. It's not available in ebook. It's only available in print.
In print.
Yes.
This book, you will not put it down once you pick it up. Now let's talk about you. A lot of people, I call it, robbed you. I mean, everybody just tried to put their hands in your pocket and take out everything you own. It was a guy named Kwame. Is it Kwame or Kwame?
Kwame.
Kwame.
Yes.
Are you still friends to this day?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a very, it's a difficult relationship. However, Kwame and I have worked together for many, many years. And when he first came to me, with a book called Ghetto Sam, The Adventures of Ghetto Sam.
I heard it.
And I absolutely adored it. I thought it was like, oh my God, who could do something like this? It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm waiting on the A train, 3 o'clock in the morning. It was like Talib Kweli was reading it, like he was speaking a book into existence, like Nas or something. It's like ether to me.
Wow.
And I published it and nobody bought it.
Wow.
I think when I say you really have to be on an intellectual plateau to really grasp the artistry of that writing, you really have to be on a high level of intellectuality. It's that deep.
Did you ever get stuck on writer's block?
No,
like
I don't get stuck on
start a
writer's
book
block.
and never finished it?
No, I don't have no problem with it. Well, not that I didn't finish, but it's not that I didn't finish because I had writer's block. It's because I didn't finish because I had to go on to something else and I lost time.
Okay.
But and that would be the only book is Method to the Madness that I just got, things just kept coming my way and I never got back to them.
Mm-hmm.
But for Kwame, when he brought me Dutch, it was like, oh God, I see it. This is it. But I can't read it. And neither will anybody else. Because he's Talib Kweli on a higher intellectual plateau, higher than me. Way higher than me. I'm not even going to go there.
Yeah.
I'm not going there. I'm not even going to try to go there. And I'm going to give him his flowers while I can because it just needed to be rewritten. Mm-hmm. It needed to be put together so that they're not stopping. They're not going to put it down. And so then, and there was, I want to also, when I think about Dutch or when I think about going back to that time, and how I would sit there and my mind and how I'm working. And so, yes, I am going to call Cavario and Tiffany over at Don Diva magazine.
Wow.
I am going to make them rewrite this shit for me.
Okay.
Cavario is going to write the interview. And we're going to put it in the magazine. As a matter of fact, I think I want to make him real. Wow. But this is the thing. I just want my writing credit. And so Kwame Teague became Dutch, a fictional character. We made him real by putting him in Don Diva, pretending that he was real and pretending that the article that was in Don Diva that's in the book is real as well. Mm-hmm. And we put it out. And Dutch tore up that courtroom.
There's so many things I want to ask you.
And so this is the thing, I explain everything in the book.
I know.
There is nothing
left out
that was ever hidden or was ever going. I don't know where these people make this shit up, but it was all in the book. Mm-hmm. And it's all in this book. And so looking back, what a journey. And I would say that after 2004 and after the release of Dutch, it really propelled Blacks to write and self-publish their books. That whole Black market opened and we were all making millions of dollars.
Will there be a movie about Dutch?
Dutch is already done.
Part 3?
Dutch 1 is already filmed. You can Google the trailer. Lance Gross is starring.
Dutch is out?
It's not out.
But
Dutch is already done.
It's done, but it's coming out.
It's been filmed.
Okay.
And you can Google the trailer.
Wow.
The trailer's on YouTube right now.
Angel?
Angel's a different book. Are you talking about Angel from Dutch or are you talking about Angel the book?
Angel the book.
No, I'm not even nowhere near there. The next books in line are Deadly Rains, and I'm working on them now.
Okay.
I'm developing my own treatment and my own pilots, and I have my own investors.
Put me in Dutch.
Investing in my company this time.
That's good.
And I'm not doing any more deals with third-party people.
That's good.
You're either the studio, you're either the television studio that I need to do business with, or I'll do it myself, and there will be no middlemen, and there will be nobody holding any more rights that belong to Terry Woods Publishing.
Yeah. Out of everything, you went through a whole lot. Was there ever a time you wanted to quit? You say, you know what?
I did quit. I walked away.
But you got right back into it.
No. I walked away in 2011. I said that in my book. I'd rather raise my children and have some peace.
And you also mentioned a farm. Are you still
my farm? Yeah, I still have my farm.
Wow, are you?
It's in Delaware.
Okay, yeah.
I don't have any animals, but I have thought, like, if this shit keeps going on, I will gladly. My mom said you need a cow for milk and butter, and get chickens and plant. My dad always said you just plant corn, tomatoes, and potatoes. That's how you start, and then you move on to berries.
Yeah.
If you have to.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Did anyone ever come to you and apologize about everything that they've done to you?
No.
And you picked up the phone and spoke with anyone?
In regards, meaning anyone is for outside of my authors? No.
Yes. Okay.
No.
Okay. Well,
but no, there's been no apologies for any of it. And so therefore and this is the other thing. People always talk about forgiveness. You don't really need to worry about me forgiving you. You should worry about God forgiving you.
And that's the truth.
And I also do feel like, I'm good. You've done so much. But the best thing that has been done for me is that you've given me God's favor through your actions and His divine intervention. Because no weapons formed against me will ever prosper. And so whatever you have to do, you go ahead and you do it. I'm just fine. And I'll continue to be fine. And that's how I feel about that. You've done nothing. Except, slow me down? You've not stopped me. No, you've definitely not taken my creativity. I can still write a book. And not only write a book, but I feel like I can write a bestseller. I can write a book that's better than everybody else's book out here, but I can't say it because then I would just be like, oh my God, she thinks she is. But it's the truth. You're going to celebrate whoever you want to celebrate. I know what happens when you pick up a TERI'S book.
That's right.
And I know nobody can take that from me, and I know nobody else can do it.
You also worked in a bunch of law firms also.
Yes.
Did that help you along the way? Like, because you sued a lot of people, and people also tried to sue you. But
well, this is the thing.
You?
Let me just really, I want to really be clear. I've been in business for 20 years. I've not had anybody sue me except for Shannon Holmes in 2001. And that was because we had a lot of beef and because he needed to sue me at that time. He needed to. And by him doing that, he put me in check to be the businesswoman that I am and to be able to say, nobody ever had to sue me ever again in business. I have no lawsuits against me. I have no judgments against me from lawsuits and people suing me and all that. No. I'm the one that has to go out and get a lawyer to try to get you off of me. And the interference in my business and that take and that, just the audacity of people and the jealousy that swirls in our industry that can turn into envy. It can be very hurtful and it can be very spiteful at times, but you have to be strong and you have to be able to get around that.
Yes. You
have to be able to make the right decisions and know that no matter what these people are out here doing, you have God's favor. No weapons formed against you are going to prosper.
That's right. That's
all. And you keep going. But it got to be a little too much. By 2011, I had I just felt like so many people, that want a piece of you or want to come after you, or they feel that, for their, when you're at the top or you're considered or people think that you're at the top, they think that they have to take you down in order for them to be at the top. They don't realize that there's enough room for them. You don't have to take the next person down. You don't have to target the next person or go after what they have. I also feel like people didn't realize at that time, they didn't know. No one knew the kind of money that I was generating. For me to blow through 10 million with ease.
I've read some things.
Yeah, I blow through it. It's not a problem. I do it well. I'm very good at it.
Yeah.
There'll be nothing tomorrow.
Yeah.
Watch how fast I spend it. It's gone.
It's here. It's here. It's here. Everything is in there.
It's gone.
Do you feel like you were blackballed after a while? Like people were really trying to take you out?
I don't feel like people were trying to take me out as much as, unfortunately, let me just say that I am truly a black woman. I'm not a white woman. And had I sold 1 million books out the trunk of my car and I was a white woman, you probably wouldn't be able to touch me and I probably wouldn't even be sitting here. Mm-hmm. Because corporate America would have embraced me in such a fashion that I just wouldn't be sitting here right now.
That's right.
We might be doing this interview, but it wouldn't be here. We'd be in you would have had to come over to the Bahamas or something. I had my island.
Yeah.
You know,
I'll be still on the plane right now.
Yeah, I would have had the whole floor.
That's right, the whole floor.
To the Empire State Building.
That's right.
You know, the top floor they would have gave me if I was a white woman. And so when you talk about blackball, I don't believe a black person can blackball me. I believe black people don't have that kind of power. Corporate blackballs you, and corporate only did what it did because corporate couldn't control us at that time, and they couldn't control the content, they couldn't create the content, they couldn't control the content, and they weren't eating off of the content at that time with me.
That's right.
And so therefore I had to be stopped, and I was a problem, and not only was I doing it, I had all these other black people. Now black people are reading Jesus God.
That's right.
You got the whole prison reading.
You had your...
Hold on, you got...
That's right.
Hold on.
In prison?
Hold up.
Your books made it...
Hold up. Hold on. You mean the Negro?
That's right.
Is quiet.
Yeah.
This is a phone call.
Wow.
Because, excuse me,
you locked the prisoners down.
Excuse me, where are the inmates?
That's right, you locked them down.
Well, sir, they're in their cells. Some book came out, and they're all in their cells, and they're like doing commissary with this shit, and like everybody wants this book, and they're all reading, and they're asking for typewriters, and they're gonna go write books or something. I don't know what's going on.
You inspired the prison.
Yeah, they're very quiet, and so the next letter that I get.
Cease and what is it? How do they say?
The next letter is, bitch, you will be going to jail shortly. Keep it up.
Wow.
No, the next letter that I get is, this is terroristic material. We're not going to be allowing it into the prisons anymore. South Carolina, if I'm not mistaken, around, 2007, 2008, said these niggas ain't going to read nothing but the Bible.
That's it.
Y'all get ready to get the Bible.
Take these books out.
Get this shit out of here. It's quiet.
That's right.
And they're reading.
That's right.
Tell them not to do that. What are they reading?
Wicked.
What is it?
Wicked.
Next letter I got was South Carolina. Was it South Carolina back then? Saying they weren't going to let inmates read nothing but the Bible. Carolina. Was that who was doing?
They locked it down.
And then all of my books started coming back from the prisons.
Return.
Wouldn't let them have them. Wow. Didn't want them to read.
You had a prison contract.
Mad at me. I had no prison contract. I'm just doing business with my inmates.